Welcome to another Feature Friday, a series we do here at Shade where I break down some of my favorite features that we've released over the past week, and we hear from members of our team. And this week, I'm actually really excited because we're going to get to hear from not just Brandon, our co-founder and CEO, but also Emerson, our other co-founder and CTO. He has led the team in building what Shade is today. So I'm very excited to hear from Emerson and talk about a couple features. So without further ado, let's go to Brandon and Emerson at their Shade FS offsite.
Hi, I'm Brandon, CEO co-founder here at Shade. I'm here with my beloved co-founder, Emerson Dev. Do you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Yeah, totally. Nice to meet you guys. I'm Emerson, CTO co-founder at Shade with Brandon here.
Yeah, so we just had a really good week here in Paris with the Shade FS team. And I'll have Emerson, you kind of debrief kind of the things that we talked about and also just some of the stuff that you are excited about in the next kind of 6 months here and what we're planning on doing.
Yeah, totally. Paris was really focused around like, what is like the future of Shade FS? Like, what are we going to do here that's going to be like even more foundational to people's workflows? So in this case, it's like, okay, sure, like, can we really push like the speed and scale of Shade FS? Yeah. But also, I think there's a few really fun features coming that we're adding to Shade FS over the course of 2026 that I don't want to leak just yet, but be excited about. But yes, otherwise, in terms of practicals here, I think we have a lot of just improvements that we're going to make around the Shade FS app itself. Yep. And then we're gonna see if we can push its bounds a little bit more.
How do you see this ecosystem, and what are some of the things that you are most excited about when it comes to bringing this whole ecosystem together?
I think the speed of like the actual file system operations themselves are really fundamental, and I think we've done a really good job of the team designing the code from the ground up, like reducing memory allocations, trying to make it as fast as possible, like writing how the really streaming, all the adaptive algorithms, like how do you make the actual file system operations as quickly as possible? And I think this shows through in like our current version of the app. Like you're able to like move large amounts of data when you copy it into the app right now. Can we make that faster? We can definitely make the like IO itself over the network quite a bit faster. In terms of like having this whole ecosystem in Shade, the example here is like one of the things we're talking about right now is like versioning, right? And in our like current system, coming soon will be snapshotting, so you'll be able to roll back and see like various versions of your tree. But
and the granularity on that is really
good. Yeah, we're going to have like very insane granularity, like down to a few seconds. You'll be able to see everything within that tree, and roll back quite a bit in our case. Which will be very exciting for like, oh, I deleted this file, I can recover it. But that's a future Feature Friday. I don't want to leak that.
Soon.
Will be soon. So I think that will be quite cool. But
if you have any specific suggestions around how versioning should work, if you've used other tools before, similar to our other videos, we want to hear back. Like, put them in the comments or just shoot us a message. We're always open to kind of constantly iterating with the product. But and I guess as you go back to New York, a little bit more of a fun one, what are the things that you're going to miss about Paris the most compared to New York?
I think the croissants. Not that I can say it like a Frenchman, but definitely that. The food is pretty good.
Waking up before the U.S. rush.
There's a morning where you do all your deployments. It's like
nice.
It's all very quiet. It's very like nice, and I like that. And then, of course, there's always such a shock when you land in JFK, and you're like, oh, man, I am back. I am back in the U.S.
Back.
For better or for worse. So I'm not looking forward to that.
Cool. Well, we had a lot of fun in Paris. It was good learnings, and I think we're revitalized to get back up and running, and the Shade FS team is really well aligned, and just having this whole ecosystem and the simplicity of building a file system that doesn't get in your way, that you can and go be creative, that you can go and integrate all these different ecosystems, right? The mission of Shade is to really enable people just to stop having to take your time to manage their files and to focus on what they want to do best. And so, that's the focus of why we came to Paris. That's the kind of foundations of the file system that we are kind of really focusing on this week. And so, hopefully this is a nice sneak peek. But I'll throw it back to you, Ed, for our standard Feature Fridays, because we've got a lot of features that are both being released this week with some cool stuff and the leaks that Emerson shared. So we're excited for the things to come.
Man, thanks Brandon and Emerson for just taking the time to have that conversation. Obviously, both of these guys are extremely busy, but I just wanted you to hear from Brandon and Emerson as well, just because so much of what they do and how they think about building a file system really affects what Shade is. And so I think conversations like that are super beneficial. But now let's get into some of the features we have for this week. And the first feature is one that has been in Shade for a while, but we've made some huge upgrades to it. And it's actually in regards to facial recognition. Now, facial recognition, like I said, has been in Shade for a long time, but we noticed kind of something that basically the AI wasn't actually recognizing faces the way we wanted it to. You see, a perfect example is when you're trying to do facial recognition on a football player. The shots of that football player without their helmet on are gonna be tagged as a different face than the shots of the same football player with their helmet on. And so we wanted to have a way for users to be able to actually change how the facial recognition is working and tag multiple images of a single person underneath one individual, just to make the AI a little bit better at understanding the faces of that person. And so we've created this 3-step process in the verification of an individual. Essentially, you'll add a profile picture and a name to an individual, and then you're able to go to references where you can upload multiple other images of the same individual. This is where you get to tag different ways that their face may appear in your media. From there, then Shade will simply verify all of that and track those images and make sure that there's not like multiple faces in the frame or there's no issues with those images. And then Shade will index all of your media and pull all the media you have with that face in it. So obviously facial recognition has been huge, and we've had a lot of great customer experience stories from this feature individually, but we just wanted to up level it a little bit, make it even better. And so that's what this new release is. And actually, now that I think about it, let's hear from the James Agency. They had a really cool experience with facial recognition where they were able to meet a super tight deadline for a client using specifically this feature.
Just recently, we needed to create a fun anniversary video for one of our clients. They have really loyal, really long-term team members, and it was one of their team members' 10-year anniversary. So we had the job of looking through all of our footage of this guy and finding like the funnest blooper reels and outtakes, and he has a really great personality, so there was a ton to look through. So we were able to find his face, give his face the name that went with all of his footage, and use the AI search to find everything we had of him, identify the best cuts, create a quick assembly, and then pass it off to us to add the type and the finishing touches and run it by the client like really quick before the 10-year anniversary celebration.
So as you can see, facial recognition can be super valuable in your workflow. But the second feature that we've released is just a rather simple feature in theory, but we've always allowed you to be able to create custom metadata within your workspace. But a quality of life update, if you will, would be the ability to delete that custom metadata. If your needs happen to change and suddenly you don't want some of the same tagging that you've had in your workspace previously, now you can delete that custom metadata. So again, this feature in and of itself is more of a quality of life update, but it's these little features and attention to detail that I really love about our engineering team. They're genuinely talking to the clients and hearing what people need within their workflows and then implementing that into the app. And that's one of the most beneficial elements of Shade. We're actively building the tool itself. Although it is super powerful and functions amazingly just as is, we're also actively building it. And so when you're a client with Shade, you get the experience of, hey, I've noticed this thing that I need within the app, and we're able to digest that and then actually add it into the process and make Shade better, not just for all of our clients, but for specific clients. But overall, that's all I've got for Feature Friday this week. And I just wanna reiterate, everyone on our team is working extremely hard to make Shade the best possible single source of truth for all your media. So shout out to the team, and let me know in the comments how this week's features are gonna apply to your workflow next week. As always, thanks for watching, and thanks for using Shade.